Okay, my name's Zakashi guys, and in this video here, we're going to be discussing what Legends Original we're going to be getting in this festival. Now, I'm writing it down as if we're guaranteed to get a Legends Original. They haven't dropped one in such a long time, pretty much a year. It will be closing into a year once we get into the part 2 of the Legends Festival, and because of that, we should be expecting another one at this time. People thought they might drop one during the anniversary, but they just didn't. They didn't drop one at any other point besides the festival last year, so it would make a lot of sense for them to drop another one 365 days later. And honestly, with the release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, a lot of opportunity for what ifs, or what we'd call them in this case, Legends Originals, actually exist. So we're going to be diving into that topic, showing hints for what could possibly be, and then giving percentages on the likeliness of characters that could exist in Dragon Ball Legends. No more talking, let's get into the video. Now we're getting into the first hint, and it's pretty hard to format this video, but there's been a lot of information going around that could lead to so many options of a Legends Original. But before we get deeper into this video, make sure to press that like button as we're trying to get to a like goal of 500 for this video. So you're listening to me right now, show some support and press that like button. Anyways, let's talk about the first thing that's the biggest thing, the most obvious thing, and something that's been on lots of people's minds. The idea that they referenced the Dragon Ball Super manga. I've mentioned this in a lot of videos before, but essentially in the English trailer for the Legends Festival, they showed a bunch of fights, not necessarily canon, but they're all anime fights. I listed all of them, so let me do that again. So the first matchup we have is Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza. The second matchup is Piccolo and Android 17. The third one is Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus Perfect Cell, Majin Vegeta versus Buu, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta versus Omega Shenron, Super Saiyan God Goku versus Beerus, Trunks versus Goku Black Rose, UI Goku versus Super Saiyan 2 Kefla, and getting into the last three here, we got Gogeta Blue versus Broly. We then have Gohan versus Gamma 1, and the manga reference, if you guys haven't read the manga, bit of information here, there's a matchup of MUI Goku versus Beast Gohan. Now for them to reference it is quite a big deal, and like I've said in all the other videos, no, you should not expect manga characters. They need licenses to do that, and almost no games have that in the Dragon Ball universe. I don't know if I should call it universe, but you get what I'm saying. They also don't want to put out manga stuff in games because they don't want to confuse the average watcher. Most consumers of Dragon Ball are anime only, and if they see something from the manga that hasn't happened in the anime, it would straight up confuse them because they wouldn't know why that's a thing. So in general, don't expect anything manga related to come into the game until it's animated. But besides from that, the reason that this is a big thing is because they could easily be a Legends Original unit, MUI Goku and Beast Gohan. It could be a reference to the manga, but it would be the versions that we've seen in the anime. We've had an MUI Goku in the Tournament of Power, and we've also had Beast Gohan in the superhero movie. But just because they were using that in the manga doesn't mean we can't get a Legends Original version of those characters that we've seen already in the anime. So yeah, this is definitely one of the most popular options. I see the vision for it honestly, and in addition, because we got Bardock and Goku as the first Legends Original Legends Limited, that was a father and son duo. Getting a Beast Gohan and MUI Goku would also be a father-son duo, and it makes the most sense to keep them all Saiyan Son family related because it would tie in and make the tags synergize way better than them randomly doing some other tags that are Legends Originals as well. It makes it more worthwhile to summon on the Legends Originals knowing that the banners are already not good. And trust me, those banners suck. Even though we've only had one, it was terrible. But yeah, that's the first hint. Let me know what you guys think about it. Now with the mention of future, we got the red Zenkai Zamasu. That has brought a lot of hype to people's heads. I'm not going to lie, as soon as we saw that Zenkai Fusion Zamasu entered the sky, everybody was expecting him. But this video is about Legends Original, so they might ask, what are you talking about, Zach? Well, like I mentioned at the start of the video, Sparking Zero has brought a lot of what ifs into the air. And if you don't know, there is a what if where instead of it being Goku, where Zamasu takes Goku's body, it's actually Gohan. So we end up getting the creation of Gohan Black, which is a very, very dope concept. If we was to get that as a unit in Legends, obviously it would break a lot. First off, I think it could actually be the best looking creation we've ever seen in a Dragon Ball game. It does look good in Sparking Zero, but something about Legends gives it this special amazing touch to just look at. I'm sure you guys agree. Even though it's a mobile game, it looks a lot better than almost every other Dragon Ball game, and I give it its props for that because wow, a mobile game doing things like this, creating visuals like this, going this far and beyond is absolutely absurd, and we can only get this standard from Dragon Ball, so we gotta give them their props. As much as we bash the game, a Gohan Black would make a lot of sense. We've already saw the MUI Goku and Beast Gohan, so we already have Son family somewhat in the air. Then adding Future into the mix, that can make a lot more sense too. We've also got mentions of God Key, so we got a rerun of Ultra Vegeta Blue and Ultra Gogeta Blue, so both of those guys are God Key, which would add to that factor. Red Zenkai Zamasu is God Key 2. We also had a rerun of Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, which also adds to that. And then let me mention Ultra Hit, who's a a powerful opponent. The tags align pretty well. It's not ridiculous to expect it. I think in general it's just a very popular option and we shouldn't let it go overlooked, which is what this whole video is about. So hey, think about it. Now, just based on the trailer, so this one's going to be referencing the Japanese trailer, we obviously had the guy who was looking basically like Goku. If we already go back to the 6th anniversary when we was getting the reveal trailers for the anniversary, it was all pointing towards a Goku and Vegeta on some sort. Everybody was speculating Vegeta, and it ended up being Vegeta, but they also did one for Gogeta too. So we had the guys that were breakdancing and whatnot, and they ended up fusing for Super Vegeta, and they went back to back like Blue Bros for Gogeta Blue. Now this guy's obviously doing the same thing in his darkness with his martial arts outfit, and he's doing the jumps and whatnot, back pose similar to MUI Goku. Now if they post another trailer, it could easily be something like a Vegeta, so I could easily see them doing a Legends Original MUI Goku and SSBE Vegeta, so their highest forms but in the anime. And we know that in MUI, Goku did not fight alongside a Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. If they put those guys together as a tag unit, that would actually be really hype because we'd have them in their max forms. It's also pretty interesting that they kind of referenced the manga with the English trailer, so now they're going to release something similar to how Goku and Vegeta, you know, they were working in the manga, but an anime version of that, and that would be really, really dope. It's kind of like they're cross-referencing but then making something original out of it, Legends Original. But yeah, that was just something I wanted to mention under the premise that we get another trailer the same way they were doing it with the 6th anniversary. We got one where they was just blue, and then we got another one where it was just orange, and then it tied in together to get the fusion. I think that was pretty cool. But for that one, it's speculation on something we haven't seen yet, so to say it's a hint, you know, we only have one half of it. It could just be an MUI Goku on its own, but if it was going to be a tag unit, it could tie in with something like that. It could easily be something to do with Gohan as well, or even another character. We don't know, but I'm just bringing you guys that information. Now, I don't have any more hints to generally refer to any specific Legends Originals, but I will name some after that I haven't even referenced right now. But I want to bring up the topic of Dragon Ball Daima. With Daima, they're releasing stuff based on how the episodes are going along. So let's say there's a Vegeta in Daima and we just haven't got there yet. Until the episode airs, we're not getting it in Legends. So you can assume for part 1, we're not going to get anything Daima related. You could assume for part 2, we might not get anything Daima related, but that's based on how the storyline is going in Dragon Ball Daima as they drop episodes weekly. If something happens in Daima and it's a fusion, or maybe something happens with Vegeta, they could then drop something really, really interesting, and we wouldn't know where it is until they release it in Daima. So for Daima, I don't want to write it out, but I don't see them dropping a Legends Original for Daima. It would just be a Dragon Ball character from Daima. But I think I should just put it in here as a topic, just in case anybody was curious about it. You shouldn't really expect anything big as a Legends Original, but we will probably get something Daima related in the festival. No guarantee, as it depends on how the anime goes. But also remember that Daima is going to be airing up until March, so they might hold out on anything big until like the last few episodes. But maybe not, because Goku literally has already gone Super Saiyan, so hey, we'll have to wait and see. We do have confirmation of fusion bugs though in Daima, so that's a big deal. If you're not tapped into Daima, it's very good, very interesting. No repeated animations, everything's smooth, it looks good. You might think it's trash because they're kids, but give it a chance, you will quickly change your mind. Alright, let's talk about it. So we're going to be starting with a Gohan Black. How likely do I think this is for a Legends Original? Now honestly, I don't think it's very high at all, but it is probably the most popular what if scenario in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. So for it to drop in Legends, it isn't ridiculous, and it isn't too much in my opinion. It's just a Goku Black, but then he'd be a hybrid Saiyan instead of a Saiyan. That could be interesting. Hybrid Saiyan that crosses over with potentially God Ki. That could be insane. You know, what percentage would I give this? Now, I don't even have high odds for any Legends Original, I'll be honest. And Gohan Black, I don't think he's going to be high. It's really just a hype factor. And because we've seen it in Sparking Zero, people are kind of pushing that idea into Legends. If I was to give a number though, it's not going to be high. I'm not going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. It's not going to be higher than 30%. 30% is the max. And I still think I'm being generous with the idea of a Gohan Black. I really feel like there's other options that they could drop for a Legends Original. More likely than this. I do think they are going to drop a Legends Original, but if they're going to drop one, it wouldn't be Gohan Black, but Gohan Black would go crazy. It would break the internet. The amount of people, not literally, but like the amount of people that will be flooding in to check what's going on in Dragon Ball Legends. It'll be like, bro, this is just a mobile game, and everybody's tapped in because they dropped a Gohan Black. That would go crazy, man. But yeah, I don't think it's likely though. 30%, I think is a good number. I'm even being generous. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about that one. Right, so I spoke about this before. A Legends Original MUI Goku and SSBE Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. What is the probability that we get this unit? I think this is actually one of the most likely ones that we could get. If we follow the fact that we've already got 2 Beast Gohans, last year we got Evo Ken, right? And Evo Ken were actually really good, you know, for that first period that they dropped. They got power cracked really quickly because long combos are not the way to go. Common sense, to be honest, but you know, it was working out for them for that period of time. How would they go about this? So you'd have like dodging on one side and then like full tankiness on the other side to compensate? Bro, I don't know how they'd go about this, but anyways, I think this is actually one of the more likely ones if they were going to drop a Legends Original. It's something they could easily implement, and they're both from the same arc, so they just put them together as a tag unit and call it a Legends Original. It's not going to be a lot of work for them, but it'd be super hype for the audience in general. Anything attached to MUI Goku is going to be hype, and SSBE Vegeta's highest form in the anime, is enough to pull people in, even though I know a lot of people weren't really favoring it. In my opinion, it wasn't like a justified buff at the time. In comparison to Goku's Ultra Instinct, it just isn't enough in my opinion, even though he's Mastered Blue. Anyways, what percentage would I give this? You know, if they drop another trailer, it's going to be looking like a 95%. But we don't have another trailer at the time of making this video. We only have the Japanese one, and they're showing the guy that basically is proving MUI Goku. So for now, I'm going to give it a... I still think it's higher than 50% because they showed MUI a lot. I'm going to give it a cool 70%. I think 70% is a good number. If they drop that Vegeta, you know, make it 95. But there's no Vegeta counterpart trailer at the moment. So I'm going to say 70 is good because MUI Goku is involved, and I think MUI is very likely. But would they just drop a MUI Goku again as a Legend Limited? They could, but this is about Legends Original, so I'm going to put it up likely just one more time, 70%. I think that's a good number. This concept looks good as well, by the way. Shout out TZ Iman. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you think about a MUI Goku and a SSBE Vegeta. Let's talk about it. A MUI Goku and a Beast Gohan. This is unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on how you want to see it, the hypest thing that could ever release in Dragon Ball Legends. I don't think there's anything in terms of hype that will surpass these two on one unit. The favoritism the fan base has over these guys. Maybe like a Vegeta and Gogeta tag unit could surpass this unit. But you know, we are light years away from that. I think we're so much closer to getting this. MUI Goku and Beast Gohan. So for now, I'm going to say this is the hypest thing they could ever drop. And from a perspective, you have to look at it in an idea of they need to surpass the anniversary. They just dropped three Fusion Warriors. 3 Fusion Warriors. Fusing Vegeta, fusing Gogeta, and Ultra G4. How are they going to surpass that? That's what you really need to process. How? What's the calculations to get a celebration better than the anniversary? Well, this is the answer here. So what probability would I give this? I also think this is a very high probability. Beast Gohan again as a solo? Nah. But I think it could be overkill, you know. A lot of people are expecting this to some degree because they showed the reference of them like fighting up against each other from the manga. But I don't think the percentage is that high. At least not higher than an MUI Goku and an SSBE Vegeta. That's my personal take on it. I'm going to be giving this a 65%. I think it's still really high just based on all the information we've got around MUI Goku and a possible Beast Gohan. But I think it might be overkill, man, and possibly too soon for this, especially with the Diamond stuff coming. You know, they don't need to drop another Beast Gohan, but we did get the superhero stuff referring to, I think it happened because it was the first time of them airing the superhero movie on TV in Japan. I had a screenshot of it and I had to look at it the other day. I was like, that's why. But yeah, 65%. I'm gonna lock that in. I don't think it's higher than that, but boy, this would be a big issue. Do you know how cracked they'd make this unit? This unit cannot be anywhere but the best unit in the game. Boy, this would be a problem. Okay then, guess it's my turn. And then the other side, MUI Goku having the dodge mechanic. Bro, just put the fries in the bag if you don't get this unit. Now, this is actually one of the ones I think is more likely. You know, it's kind of simple. Dokkan already has something of the sorts. We know that Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo did not do that special beam cannon together, bruh. But if they were to load it up together in a Legends Original Original, that would be fire. Give them a tag unit. Yes, they were working together, but you know, Gohan pretty much did most of the work after Orange Piccolo took a somewhat fatal blow. Gohan couldn't handle that. It was kind of like Android 16. He went, and you see the lines in the back. He had to lock in, you know, he couldn't let that slide. But if they were a Legends Original, they'd be working together, so they'd be like teammates, proper teammates though, so not just Gohan carrying and Piccolo being a big assist, you know. I could see this being more likely than anything else. It's just another superhero unit. The best 2 transformations, if not the only 2 transformations, because we got what, a fat Gotenks, you know, there's no like Cell Max. I don't see that either. Anyways, let me give my probability on this. Like I said, I think this is one of the more likely ones. It's super hype, and it's also very like chill in terms of they're not doing too much. MUI Beast is doing a lot. Gohan Black is doing a lot. You know, I'm gonna give this a cool, out of all the options, if they were going to drop something, 80%. I don't think it's more likely than the MUI in general. But for a Legends Original, I think it just makes sense, especially because Dokkan already have it. It will just pull people in, they'll get their sales, it will match the hype of the anniversary because it's a movie as well. It just makes sense, you know, it just makes sense. 8% I think is a good number. I might be overkilling it to some people, but boy, like, you know, like I said, it's not doing too much while also being something super hype in existence. So we got this one here, Super Saiyan Blue Goku and a Super Saiyan Gohan from the future. You know, this one's also very reasonable, but I wouldn't say it's super hype. But I don't know how you guys feel about Goku and Bardock being a Legend Original. Do you think it's super hype? Do you think it's maybe lackluster because they're not in Super Saiyan? I think because it was a first release, it's insanely hype. It was so unexpected that they do something like that, you know. But ultimately, if they were to release Goku and Bardock as a tag unit as their 3rd original or even their 2nd, would it be as hype? I don't know. This one here though, if they had a father-son Kamehameha blue card finish here as a legendary finish, I think then this would exceed expectations. You know, people love Future Han because of his spirit to protect, you know, and Goku has that same type of energy. Everyone knows that. That should go without saying. So I don't know how hype this would be, but I think it's nothing too out of the expectation because they've already done this in Xenoverse, so it's something they could easily take inspiration from. We've already seen Dragon Ball Legends take inspiration from Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so we know it's very possible to take bits and pieces from other games, and earlier I even mentioned the likes of Gohan Black. So how likely do I think this is as a probability? I do think it's actually one of the ones up there, but because of the hype factor, I don't know how hype it would be. But then again, you gotta think about the simple fact that they dropped the Bardock and Goku in their base forms, so this would probably be more hype than that for sure. Father and son, you know, and as a father and son duo, I would obviously expect Gohan and Goku to be more hype than Goku and Bardock. Giving this a cool 65%. Maybe it's a little biased because I put the Beast Gohan Orange Piccolo one higher, but honestly, in terms of hype factor with what they've been dropping this year, I don't see this being able to catch up if they dropped this over the other options I've already mentioned in this video. But in terms of likeliness, you know, I still think it's somewhat up there. It's just not as hype, unfortunately, with the expectations they've gave us. But yeah, 65% is I think is a good number, but it doesn't feel good, you know. You know, logically speaking, it is a good number, but it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. All right, this is going to be the last one of the video. And this is also one that's been brought up in speculation, especially earlier, way earlier, maybe right after the anniversary finished, as an option for a Legends Original. And even before the anniversary, when people were expecting a Legends Original in the anniversary, people were expecting this to possibly drop. And honestly, this would have been a better choice of a unit than an Ultimate Gohan. That's not even hating. I don't care that Ultimate Gohan was broken for his time. I'm talking about the unit choice, because Ultimate Gohan, I'm sure everybody was thinking, what the hell, why did they choose to drop a Ultimate Gohan? Obviously now it kind of makes more sense with Buu Saga, but Buu Saga already doesn't need him. They have so much, so you know, they could have gone with something better, but I guess they didn't want to drop anything future related. But cool, how likely do I think this is? You know, the future tags here existing, they reran Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, things are tying in and it's making connections, you know. So what am I going to give this as a number? I think it's on the lower end just because of the hype factor. It could be cool. They could have went from, you know, the father son, so Goku and Bardock. And then they go to this with hybrid Saiyans, 2 hybrid Saiyans, from 2 Saiyans to 2 hybrid Saiyans, right? They're also in Super Saiyan, so it contrasts the fact that the other 2 were in base form. Would they come from an arc? Maybe, probably not, because it's just like a Legends original, so it'll just be game originals. I don't think this is that high, you know? I'm gonna give this a... I think it's higher than the Gohan Black, though. I'm gonna give it a 40% chance. Yeah, it's more so just to do with the hype factor, though, but if it did drop, I'd be like, that's fair. I understand that. If you especially consider what else they've dropped in the past, but man, it will not match the hype that they revealed in the anniversary, man. They would just be lowering the scale big time, and that's what I'm worried about more than anything. You know, it's already been quite kind of a dry period heading towards the festival. Then the festival is just like slightly up. It's just slightly, not even properly up, slightly up. Man, that's low standards in my opinion, but 40%. I'd be like, I understand the vision and why they chose it, but I wouldn't necessarily be happy with it. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Those were the main Legends originals that I could think of. But of course, if you have any yourself that you'd like to bring up, leave them down below in the comment section. Don't forget to press that like button too. We're on the road to 500 likes for this video. So every one of you press that thumbs up. Helped me out a lot, man. Thank you guys for your support. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching. My name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.